Hello, my name is Julian Enriquez, and this is my first commentary track assignment. The scene I decided to analyze comes from the film There Will Be Blood. This dark, stunning film won an Academy Award for cinematography and Best Actor. No one can deny Daniel Day-Lewis's fantastic acting along with Robert Elswit's visual masterpiece. The scene starts off when the newly flowing oil rig at the Sunday Ranch catches on fire when it erupts, and the men they run towards it and try to put it out. It has minimal dialogue along with sparse lighting, which amplifies some of the themes we find in the movie. To be honest, the scene only lasts around 9 minutes, not 10 minutes. But I'll show you this one shot showing Daniel overwatching the rig. So maybe it's around 1 minute, so I guess you can count it as 10 minutes. So this kind of camera shot was actually shown constantly, mainly towards the important characters of the film. Throughout the film, I noticed that there were camera shots focusing on a single person, in this case Daniel right here. Although this may not be the best example of this camera shot, I just wanted to show you how the camera is fixated. You know full well what he's doing and what he's thinking whenever this camera shot, or anybody in this case, this enhances the movie in a way that every scene is always important and that every scene adds something to the plot. That's just a feeling I get whenever I witness this camera shot. So before the rig starts to erupt, I would like to start out with a shot showing the rig plowing through the oil well. Um, the scene, yeah, scenes that show the oil, that show the rig drawing oil tells the audience that oil plays a significant role in the film. The director intentionally places the camera to focus on the oil rig to keep reminding us that everything that is happening in the movie is because of oil. Every character's actions and decisions revolves around oil. In doing so, doing a tracking shot of the drill or rig is essential to the story. So let me pause it right here before it actually starts. In our textbooks, this would actually be within the topic of frame mobility, that every camera movement anticipates the action, or actually just these camera movements enhances, or I guess that's the best way I could describe it. Actually, in this film, I actually notice like a pattern. There's three scenes or shots that shows the oil rig, or it does like kind of like a zoom shot towards the oil rig plowing the oil. I think this acts as like some kind of foreshadowing tool, because um, whenever this shot is happening, something bad or something happens right after the camera closes in within the oil rig. The first time I saw this um, was early into the film, probably like the very start. Uh, he actually, right after that, they had the shot of the oil rig drilling through the oil. Someone actually died um, from a freak accident. The second time, the same thing occurred. You see the oil rig, and then after that, something happens. Someone dies. And in this case, when the oil rig is shown, something happens in it, but except actually something good happens. The oil finally erupts from the well, so that's like a really good foreshadowing tool, and um, that's why I kind of noticed after watching it a second time. So now this is gonna be the start when everything starts going haywire. So yeah, this always happens, or something always happens to the whenever you see the oil rig happening. In this case, the oil finally erupts. So Um, actually, this little boy is actually Daniel's son, but it's actually his adopted son. The real father is actually the worker I was talking about. Um, with the first scene with the oil rig, the fluke accident, like his real dad dies, and now Daniel actually looks over him, or watches over him now, or takes care of him. So that's that early scene just right now is um has the scene hasn't started, but because I just noticed this right now, we see Daniel Day Lewis mainly in the center of the frame, even as the camera moves. I never noticed this while watching the film, but as I break it down, I realize how important this character is and why it's perfect they keep him in the middle. The next three shots actually show him taking up the screen, still perfectly in the middle. So here's the establishing shot, or this is the stars of the scene that I would like to really analyze. So, so yeah, right here, again, showing him in the middle right there. Um, I think, yeah, the next three shots actually show him taking up the screen, like I said, still perfectly in the middle. And I think and describes one of the themes of this movie, which is loneliness. He's the only one with a desolate background. Nothing, or he's shown with a desolate background. Nothing is really in the frame except him and his oil. That ties into another theme within this movie, which is greed. So here is you see Daniel Day Lewis's partner trying to maintain the well as well. The camera shows a wide shot of them running towards the spikes, and then ends with a close up of the shot of the oil rig. This shows how the main character revolves around oil. You can even say that he's obsessed with the stuff. Throughout the scene, we mainly see either Daniel or the oil rig. This really depicts the importance of oil to Daniel and how he'll stop at nothing to achieve what he wants. At this point of the scene, Daniel is seen in the middle of the fire. It's pitch black, and the only source of light is coming from the oil rig. This shows how the contrast between the darkness of the night and the raging fire. I think the oil and the character alone in this shot fits the theme of the movie perfectly. So here we see Daniel Day-Lewis close up on the right and his partner in the middle. He is drenched in oil and with limited lighting. You can barely see him. Not only is the scene dark, the character is dark. They could have seen easily lit the shot to show him more, but I think keeping him the least lit person exemplifies another theme. He himself is a dark character. He's greedy, heartless, and hates most people, as he states in the film. Now we see like a more tense like lens flare coming from the fire. As the sun sets completely, the fire now is the only source of light here. I think this was intentional by the director, as this was a way to connect us to the scene. And here, again, this is the best example right here, where I said that showing Daniel's darkness and his greed over oil. This was a really good shot, and I really noticed this. So again, this is showing Daniel with the oil, and it's only just him and the oil. That's all that matters. That's what I got from this shot right here. But yeah, that was the scene I wanted to show. Again, the last three shots, it goes back to Daniel Day-Lewis and his partner. It gets a little closer, but not by much, because it's balanced out on each side of the screen. It gets a little darker as it goes on, so Daniel is really dimly lit. Again, I have to say, this darkness about him shows the darkness within. His corruption and greed makes him who he is, and what he gets, as he gets what he wants, he doesn't need anybody else. Although it may not have been intentional, I believe setting these actors this far apart is important. The main character only gets close with his son, and that's about it. He distances himself from everyone because he doesn't trust them. Seeing him drenched in oil just fits the scene perfectly. And that sums up my commentary track. I hope I did pretty well, and this movie has been really amazing to watch. I actually watched it like 3 times. 1, just to see it. 2, to actually see specific shots. And 3, just because I really like this film. Again, this was an amazing film. The cinematography was great. I could talk about a lot more. Like, there are other scenes that show great examples of cinematography. Even like topics of messianic scene. It's just generally amazing. And yeah, this is the end of the commentary. Thank you and goodbye.